Welcome to another thing where we try to answer your questions. Madeline Tsai asks two questions, and we'll answer one of them because another one is kind of related later in the thread. Maybe Joseph Kim's question. What's your marketing strategy? So we will answer that. And do you run into the problem with 30-minute stay requirement from HOA? How do you solve it? No, because we avoid HOAs with 30-day minimum stays.
Yeah,
So it's like picking any investment. Um, like if you think like single family homes, right? Like it's like picking any investment. You want the conditions to be right for you. You don't want to be so desperate for a unit that you're kind of operating in a gray or black area where it's like 30-day minimum stay only, and then you have to like expose yourself to vacancy. Of course, we would like 30-day plus, but we also would like the extra option to have 29 days or less in case we do need them. So no, we don't run into that problem because when an HOA says we don't allow for less than 30 days, you say no bueno, and then we just go to the next one. Anything to add
right.
to that?
I guess we do have like an experience with HOA from one of our units in San Jose. Um, we I guess initially talked to this landlord who has I think a town. I guess you would consider a townhouse and HOA controlled like complex. Um, I guess one tip if you really, 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 really want this unit that's an HOA is to like go talk to the HOA yourself. We like asked this landlord like, oh, did you make sure this HOA did you make sure this HOA is okay with what we're doing with like bringing in business clients who stay for like not a full year lease, right? And the landlord was like, yeah, don't worry, we got it under control. And then we placed our first tenant in there, which is kind of which was like from a big like from this corporate like client that we had. And then the HOA calls him and goes like, what's happening? Um, why are there like random people moving into your unit? And so we were like, oh shit, like this is not a good experience, right? If the HOA like suddenly decides to kick them out for one reason or another, or like, you know, this was a like multi-month stay, so it was definitely not like a short-term rental, but I mean, who knows, right? Like the HOA can do whatever it wants, like bother your tenant, and that's just not a good experience for you, and it doesn't reflect well on your company. Um, so I guess just another caution about working with units and that are the HOAs.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a cautionary tale. So yeah, I agree. The main point, which is you want to minimize your exposure no matter what, regardless of like this or any other situation, right? You want to minimize your exposure to vacancies and things of that nature, and just like headaches in general. And HOA can just relate to headaches because like HOA can let you do what you do now, but like next year they're like, no, like you gotta get out, and it's like, okay, well, what now? Another cautionary tale because like this landlord was like a referral basically, and he was like a first time landlord. I did make the mistake of like not like or like I did make the mistake of trusting him, and you probably shouldn't trust amateurs. Because like they don't know what they're talking about. This guy's like, oh yeah, I asked him like three times, like, oh yeah, HOAs, are you okay? That sounds kind of weird. It's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And then like it was like the day before or 2 days before the tenant moved in, he emailed us like urgent, like, oh, like you can't do like bed and breakfast, and then it's just like, dude, like this is like what is it like 4 months at 41,
Yeah, I
forty
was
two
like
hundred.
way too late.
Yeah, it's like 4 months at 4,200. So this is a $16,000 deal, I believe. So it's like, what the fuck, right? So another thing, so cautionary tale also is like when you're working with amateurs, don't take their word for anything. It's like buying an out-of-state property from a realtor and then trusting their vacancy numbers and like the rent numbers, right? Like they don't know, they just don't have the skill or the experience to actually know what they're talking about as far as like all these things go. And it is your responsibility to find out, especially if they're newer in the market. Now, if they're a property manager and they're apartment manager and they manage like 200 units and they have like a real estate license and like they know all the laws and like they follow, like they probably get calls like this all the time. Um, they'll probably know what they're talking about. But for an amateur, you want to double check everything, make sure everything's kosher. Because now we're kind of in this scenario where it's like there's an HOA kind of looming over our head for this one unit. Um, and we, depending on whether we can get more multi-month stays, we could also maybe terminate it. But then again, this unit is under a JV, so our downside is very, very minimal. We're not really paying the full $2,000 a month. So with that said, yeah, I think this is a long question to your long answer to your
Long
short
answer.
question.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hope that helps explain what our stance is on HOAs.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
All right.
See you around next time.